Yo, what's up, YouTube? This is my channel, You Need Jesus, and I'm back to you with another video. The reason why I'm not showing my face is because I'm actually sitting in my car, and I don't have a good place to sit my camera, so I might just post a a thumbnail or something, so you can have something to look at. But anyway, this is a continuation of my last video from last week. I said that I mentioned about RFID chips at the end of my video, and I said I was going to come back and elaborate more on this video of what I believe they are and what they're being used for. So I'm still feeling a little sick from last week, so you might hear it sounds like I'm talking out my nose or whatever, but really I'm just sitting in the sun. I'm sitting in my car in the sun trying to get some sunlight. Like, just to let you know, FYI, when you get sick, a good thing to do is to get sunlight, because vitamin D, this is where vitamin D comes from, the sunlight. And if you ever feel sick, get you maybe 10 or 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes. Well, 20 minutes may be a little much, but like maybe 15 to 20 minutes of sunlight. And I guarantee you'll start to feel better immediately. You may still be sick, but you'll start to feel like stronger. But anyway, I kind of put my thoughts together. So basically, I want to start with, first of all, most of you probably already know what RFID chips is, so I'm not really going to explain like the conspiracy or anything. I just want to kind of give you what I've experienced. Now, where I want to start is RFID chips. These things are undetectable from what I believe so far. I believe they are undetectable, and even if you try to feel around on different parts of your body looking for them, they're difficult to find. I do believe that they are maybe, but not totally. But I think they are sort of disposable, like a chip they can put in you that works for a certain amount of time, and maybe it sort of dissolves or something. Dematerializes, and after it's finished doing whatever, like a disposable razor. It put a chip in you to do a certain function, and after that, it sort of maybe self-destructs or whatever. But in a way, you can't really detect it. When these chips are put into you, they're put at times when you are not paying attention, you are least aware of what's going on. I believe these chips are used to track you, to monitor you, to kind of I was gonna say to read your brain waves or your brain signals, but I think that's a little bit too much. That might be a little much, but I think it does track your behavior in certain ways. So my first experience of what I think was a RFID chip. Okay, now this was about 4.5. It's 2020 now. Today's January 2nd, so Happy New Year's. So this was like 2015. I'm not sure if it was like summer or fall 2000. I know it was like middle like summer or fall of 2015. So it's about 4.5 years ago. My first experience. I went to sleep, and in the middle, I had this dream, which at first I thought it was a dream, but after a certain amount of time, I started to think that maybe it was real. But I had a dream that, I kind of cracked my eyes open a little bit. I didn't open up my eyes fully, but I had a dream that I was sort of levitating, maybe about a foot or two over my bed. I had a dream that I was levitating, that I was suspended over my bed, and here's the weird thing, right? At this time, my bed was up against the wall, right? It was in the corner. So my bed was literally, like, the headboard was up against the wall, and the right side of my bed was also up against the wall, right? So only the left side and my feet were actually open, okay? And the thing about this is, it's strange to me because I felt like my right arm was sort of lifted up against the wall. Okay, so my body was levitating up over the bed, right? And my right arm, it was lifted up. Now, I couldn't see anything lifting my arm, but I felt like my arm was being lifted. It wasn't moving on its own. I wasn't doing it. It was somebody. I didn't feel any. That's a weird thing. I didn't feel my arm being grabbed by anyone, right? And I didn't necessarily, I didn't feel like my. You know how if you are, when you're doing something on your own, right? You know when you're lifting your arm, right? You're making the effort to do that, and you also know when somebody's grabbing your arm and lifting it for you. But in this case, my arm was rising by itself without any kind of feel to it. I didn't feel anybody grabbing it. So then I remember I was looking right at my, what do you call it? Like you call it your elbow pit? Like the other side of your elbow, like instead of your elbows, like right, that crease, your crease right below or right above your forearm, right? So that crease right there, when you bend your arm, that crease, I think that's called your armpit, your elbow pit. So right in my elbow pit, that little crease, I saw, like, I can't quite make out what I saw, but it looks like some type of device of some sort. Maybe a syringe or something, and I felt a pinch on my right in my elbow pit, right in that crease. There was a little pinch, and then the pinch went away, it let go, and then my arm went right back down, and my body lay back down on the bed. Now, after this happened, I woke up, and the dream was so real that I actually checked my arm to see if, I was trying to find something, trying to see if there was like a mark or a scar or something like that. And I said, that's weird. So at first, I couldn't stop thinking about it. I was like, it was so real. Like, I really felt, I was like, even to this very day, I still think that it really did happen. I just cannot find any evidence of it. Even to this day, I still sometimes look at my arm. That's how crazy it is. I still look at my arm sometimes, my armpit, to try to see if I can find, like, some kind of mark or, something to say that it happened, but I can't find anything. But after a certain amount of time, I think this is before. Was this before or after? I think at this time, I've already heard of RFID chips. I've already heard of them, but I've never actually, went into a depth of it. But after a certain amount, I think it took maybe a couple weeks or maybe even a couple months after when I finally clicked in my head, something said, something was put inside of my arm. So I started doing research about RFID chips and things like that. And, you know, uh, I heard some experiences from other people and things. I didn't really hear anything like my experience. I think I've heard some lady talk about how she thinks some dentists, or sometimes when you go to get a surgery, they'll put chips in you. When you go to the doctor unknowingly, that could be true. But I believe that whoever put the thing in my arm, it was an entity of some sort. Okay, now fast forward to last year. Actually, this happened maybe 3 months ago. Yeah, this was about 3 months ago. Um, I had a dream, sort of a nightmare, sort of, where um, I think I was like taking a test, or like I was something, and um, I can't remember exactly what the dream was, but I do remember how I woke up. Now here's the thing: when I woke up, now when this happened, I didn't realize it until after, right? This is stuff how sometimes something happens, but you don't really quite understand what happened until like after, the afterthought, what you call the afterthought. So, from what I realized, what happened was I was laying in my bed and I woke up and I lifted up my head. All right, now I realized that when I lift up my head, it wasn't my physical head. It was like I woke up spiritually, like my spirit body, like my spirit man woke up. So my body was actually still laying on the bed, but my spirit body rose up out of my body to look, to see what was in. And right in front of me, I actually saw like this demon type thing that I think's been messing with me for a long time. Um, I've actually had other experiences with this demon thing before this, but in this particular case, um, he got pretty angry, got pretty frustrated. Like he was frustrated with me because, I'm not, like, I think, like, if you actually watch my last video, you know what I'm talking about, how the demon was frustrated because I wasn't responding the way he wanted me to. All right. So, I'm trying to get to this video. So, after he got angry, he kind of lost his temper. Well, first I'm gonna describe what he looked like. He was it was a black figure, a shadow, and its eyes, I kind of saw its eyes like, I remember it as white eyes, but I think they were actually yellow. I think they had like sort of like reptilian eyes, like a reptile, yellow eyes with a black slit. But it's kind of weird because I remember his eyes as white, right? So, like as far as I remember what I see, his eyes were white, but I know that his eyes were yellow. That's weird, right? Like, I know that's hard to kind of understand, but that's sort of kind of the situation that I'm in, that this was. Like, I know what I see. It's like, it's a difference between I know what I see and I know what I know. What I see is this, but I know it's actually this. I guess it's like once again, that physical world, spiritual world type thing. When you see things in the spirit, you tend to see things the way they really are. But anyway, to my point, once he lost his temper, he raised his arm. He made like an angry face, even though I couldn't see his face. But he made like an angry, like angry. He was pretty pissed off, and he lifted up his right arm, and he had something in his hand. I don't know what it was, and he came down and he slammed down on my toe. He hit something on my toe, like once again, it was like the same thing I'm talking about that happened with my arm. It's like the same thing, but this time he kind of did it with force. He hit I think it was my big toe, because I wasn't wearing any socks when I was sleeping, and the way I sleep sometimes, sometimes you roll over at this case, I actually kind of rolled over on my back. So when I sleep, sometimes I sleep on my stomach, then I'll roll over on my shoulder, then roll over on my back, then roll back over my stomach again. Like I toss and turn when I sleep. And at this position, I was laying on my back, and he came down and he slammed this thing into my big toe. He hit my big toe. And when he did it, I knew that he actually injected something inside of my toe. Like it was like a chip. I knew it was like a RFID chip. I know that's what it was. I know this whole thing sounds crazy, but I remember that. And then once I woke up, once I physically woke up, once again, I'm sorry. Once again, I checked my toe. I didn't see anything. I couldn't find any marks, anything. But it's crazy how it's sort of the same thing that happened years before. So now I'm wondering, like, what exactly is these chips? Like, is it? I'm not, like, once again, I'm still kind of on the edge a little bit about spiritual world and technology. As I mentioned in my last video, I believe that in the physical world we have tools to communicate with the spiritual world, and in the spiritual world they have tools to communicate with the physical world. And so they have technology as well, just like we do. And I'm not sure. Like, okay, let me go back a little bit. So let's kind of analyze this a little bit, right? So you have this demon who lost his temper. He got angry with me, okay? And out of his anger, he injected some sort of chip into my toe, into my foot. Now, why would he do that? Like, what exactly is this RFID? This is almost like it's almost like the RFID chip has some sort of function that it's supposed to do, right? Let me tell you what I'm getting from it. What I'm getting from it is it has some sort of function, okay? And whatever function it has, it's not working, or it's not having the effect that it should have on me, okay? And once this demon realized that, out of anger, out of frustration, he injected another RFID chip in me, in my foot in this case. And I don't really think that my foot has anything to do with it. I think he kind of just did that because my foot was there, and he sort of just kind of being a jerk, and just kind of hit my toe, out of just being a jerk a little bit. Because these things are not our friends; they're our enemies. So that's what I'm thinking. Some of these RFID chips are. There's something they're monitoring. They are trying to manipulate us some type of way. But if you overpower it, you overrule whatever effect they're supposed to have. They get pissed off about it, basically. And in this case, they put another one in me. In fact, he slammed an RFID chip in me, in my toe. He literally came down, had something in his hand, some type of mechanism, came down and hit me in my big toe. But when he hit me, the RFID chip went inside my toe. And even though I couldn't quite see exactly what was going on, but like, once again, when you're in the spirit, you just know. You may not see everything, but you know. Your awareness is heightened. So, I do want to elaborate. I do have another story. Like I said, that I've had, like I said earlier in this video, I've had other experiences with this same entity. So I want to talk about another. It's not an RFID chip, but this is another piece of technology or something that was used on me. And I'm gonna try to make another video. I'm not sure if I'm gonna make it today. My goal is to try to make a video every Thursday, but I'm not sure if I want to wait that long. I might make one earlier than that, but I'm definitely gonna post a video by next Thursday at the latest. But I really want to finish this little series right here so I can move to my next series. I have some other things I want to go into. I want to go into just some other things I want to get into. So yeah, that's it for now. Leave a comment in the comment section. You can subscribe. If anybody's had any type of experiences, put it in the comment section. If you're a person, if you have something that you've experienced and you want me to mention you in one of my videos, or I'll give you credit for whatever story you send me, or anything like that. So that's it for now. I most likely I will continue. I might even post it today, honestly. But yeah, that's it for now. I know this video is a little long, but because I'm kind of disorganized. But anyway, I'll see y'all next time.